Hey everybody, welcome to the Semen Retention and NoFap channel. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 ways to prevent relapse while on semen retention. And make sure to watch until number 1 because it's one of the most effective ways to prevent relapse that I've ever experienced. So, number 1, keep yourself busy. It goes without saying that if your plan is to retain your semen for any period of time, and especially if you're just starting out in your process for the first time intentionally, you are going to be challenged. Your challenge is going to deal mostly with your free time that you have on your hands. This free time mostly consists of activities that have to do with recreation. There's nothing wrong with recreation. There is something wrong with recreation that takes you away from your our goals we want to achieve in our direction in life. For example, when I first started my retention journey, it was in times of me having nothing to do that the thought would creep into my mind to partake in X-rated media. And of course, this always led to relapse for me. So, to begin to counteract this, I started filling my time with activities that were the opposite of this, like studying about how to become the type of person that doesn't watch this type of media. That even included me creating a small mini course on how to quit watching X-rated media. You can find this video on my channel. I'll also put it in. It's going to be in a playlist at the end of the video. And at the end screen of this video. So I also started exercising around the time when I would relapse the most, which was when I got home from work. This would leave me tired to the point to where once I laid down, I would fall right to sleep, as well as using that extra energy gained by retaining as well. So the key here is to fill your time so much that you leave very little to no time for your mind to be idle. Even schedule out your recreation time, as that too is important. Any activity will do, but preferably activities that are for your betterment. Number 2, you need to get into a routine. Having a routine ties into the first tip, which fills your time. If you have a routine, you already know what you're going to do, and it gives you less time to use less. It makes you not have to use as much willpower to figure out what you're going to do, and that will give you more willpower to not only resist your urges to relapse, but also to stay on your routine, which is sometimes in itself a challenge. Once again, especially if you're just starting out. So having a routine also helps you start to prioritize what's important and what's not so important, so that you can adjust depending on what you require for your time, for your life at the time. So building and maintaining a routine is an art and specific to the individual. You must start it though to see what works for you. The key here is to build your routine around what you want to accomplish, so you make sure you are always on target, or at least as close as possible, and you can adjust along the way. Number 3, exercise. Exercise is one I can't stress enough, and is by far, in my opinion, the most effective way to transmute sexual energy. The stress exerted by the body, especially when performing exercise that build muscles and endurance, uses this energy and will help relieve all of that those built up reserves. And additionally, you are getting healthier and stronger in the process. Not to mention, you feel great after a workout, and as previously stated, is one of your main times you relapse. For me, when I relapse, before I went to sleep. So getting a workout before going to sleep will help you fall asleep almost instantly. And as anyone reading knows, you have to, anyone who's retaining knows, you have to transmute the energy, and you cannot just let it just sit there. I suggest at least 15 to 30 minutes of rigorous exercise to really transmute some of that energy in the muscle and keep you healthy and strong. At least 3 to 5 days out the week, 6, whatever it is for you. You know what I'm saying? And you may say, well, man, 15 minutes is kind of short. I gave this time for like beginners to help them just to get started, but also if you're doing a high intensity interval training, also known as HIIT training, man, you can get a workout in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? You work out nonstop for 15 minutes straight and you will work the crap out of yourself. I promise you. The key here is quality over quantity. Any workout you choose will do, though, so you know what's best for your body. If you don't, then there are plenty of professionals out there that can help you develop a plan around your goals. Number 4, excuse me, get a hobby. Maybe there's something you've always wanted to do that you've been putting off or procrastinating about. This would be a great time to introduce that hobby into your life. For me, I had always been interested in martial arts, so I began training in the martial art that I was interested in. I first want to say that to the trainers I learned from, this is not a hobby for them, and it is a lifestyle, and they take the art seriously. So for me, it may be a hobby right now, only because to get a good grip on it, I would have to go to Japan and train and study with them, which I do plan to do in the future. This is not to say that I don't take it seriously, but just due to my priorities right now, I'm just not as invested as they are. All this to say is that this could be anything for you. It could be reading, it could be fishing, it could be sunbathing, I don't know, martial arts, sculpting, drawing, painting, some sort of sport. You pick it, just make sure that it's something that you enjoy and put it in your routine under the time that you use for recreation. Shoot, it could be video games, anything. Just remember, you just gotta fill that time so that your mind is not idle and able to just wander off into the sunset. Even if you do want to daydream or meditate or do something like that, make time for it. You know what I'm saying? Number 5, don't focus on sex. Like, this one is obvious, but like somehow we may think that we can get away with this one. But if you have a period of time when you're retaining, focusing on sex is going to make this impossible. In order to prevent you from relapsing, you have to be transmuting that sexual energy and any thoughts at all, and thoughts at all times during your retention period also have to be transmuted. If you even think about it, sex at any point in your relapse, like, you're pretty much doomed. If you're still having sex while you're retaining, then you just simply have to stop before ejaculation, and or have a retrograde ejaculation, which I don't know much about because I've never tried it, but there's plenty of information out there about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, retaining isn't necessarily about not having sex. It's just not spilling your seed. So if you are, in a relationship or something, or you're still having sex, like, that's cool. You just can't spill if retaining is your goal. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, then by all means, go ahead, get off. If you can push yourself to control your urges as much as possible, change your mind when you think about sex. Like, don't look at women's behinds and their breasts. Like, and nothing is wrong with these, though. Nothing's wrong with a woman's body. A woman's curves are some of the most beautiful things on this planet. However, resisting these urges will build up your willpower and give you more control over your senses, as well as make it easier for you not to relapse. So you don't want to watch any sexually provocative media, or you don't want to read anything provocative sexually. Think about it in simple terms of input and output. So the more sexual stimulation you take in, the more will tend to come out. So keep in mind that this is not about suppression. We're not trying to suppress the sexual thought. We just want to redirect that energy when those thoughts do come up into something else. All right. So the next thing is number 6. Quit watching X-rated media. And I'm using X-rated media only because the other word, I think, it's not really the best thing for the YouTube algorithm. So I've been saying X-rated media. So watching X-rated media is by far the easiest way to relapse. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and fake. So when you're watching another man have sex with another woman, or another man and another man, I don't know your thing, or another woman and another woman, whatever it is that you watch that gets you off, um, you'll be turned on and you'll get aroused, and you may even imagine that that's you inside of the thing, and it would, I would say it's much better to actually go have sex with an actual person. You know what I'm saying? Like than to take this route out. You know what I'm saying? But that, of course, is preference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you consider like entertainment or whatever. But if you're playing, sticking to the point. If you, when it comes to retaining, then watching these type of videos is going to make it extremely hard for you to do so, and you will get turned on and want to have sex, in which most likely is the case. You'll probably spill your seed, or you'll want to self please, and you'll probably spill your seed. And also, there's an addiction to the type of this media that forms when you constantly release to it due to dopamine receptor downregulation. And just like a drug, you'll need stronger and stronger doses of different types of and variety to get that same feeling. So, programming yourself like this will make changing the habit extremely difficult, especially if you've been doing this for years. Of course, it's only difficult at first. It's like a muscle. The more you start to move in the direction of someone who doesn't watch this type of media and is more interested in organic face-to-face interactions that are based on real life and not some scripted or fake setup scene, then the stronger you will go in that direction. Number 7, don't self-please. Don't edge. Don't, I repeat, do not edge. I got a video on my channel about edging. If you're trying to retain, edging is just, it's just too close for comfort, man. It will, for me, it's always led to relapse. You may even squeeze out one on accident. So I would strongly suggest that if you have a problem viewing X-rated videos, even if you are participating without viewing that type of media, it may just be a gateway to it, or you will probably slip edging. So like, just once again, stay away from the X-rated media, stay away from self-pleasing yourself, like just stay away from sex altogether. You know what I mean? For the period you have designated to retain. That could be 7 days, it could be 30 days, it could be 90 days, it could be a year. It could be longer, whatever it is for you. These tips are going to help you to prevent yourself from relapsing. So you have to understand, especially if you're new to retention, that your mind will seek the easy way out in any way, shape, or form. It will negotiate and reason with you to try to get you to release by giving you all sorts of reasons why it's okay to do this or it's okay to do that, and to just, play with it a little, or maybe you just, have sex and just try, not to spill. It'll be fine. Or just edge and just stop right before you're about to, and just do that several times. You'll be fine. Or just watch this one video. It will negotiate and do anything to try to make you relapse. Like, just don't fall for none of that stuff, man. Like, your own mind is going to be your biggest enemy. You are going to be your biggest enemy. Your mind will find any reason to relapse, and if you have a goal, you have to do anything in your power to redirect that energy. Number 8, do a monk mode period. So a monk mode period is simply a period in time where you limit your life to only those things that have a direct result in your personal and spiritual development. This can include eating a specific way, managing time only around activities that move you forward in your development. The key to the monk mode is in the interaction you have with others. These are kept on a need to communicate only basis. I did a video on monk mode that will also be in that playlist at the end of this video. So this means no useless or fruitless or unfruitful communication. This means no hanging out, no useless chit chat, no going out, not much human interaction at all for a specified period. You know how a monk lives, you know what I'm saying? So this is a time for you and your development. Of course, there is a flexibility with this period, as it does not release you from your responsibilities you may have garnered before you started your monk mode. However, you do want to do what you can with what you have. So similar to how a monk would, like I said before, would take a vow to live in an aesthetic lifestyle, possibly amongst others just like themselves, with limited interaction with the world. This mode will allow retention to be easier because your energies will be focused on development, and this ties into the other points that were made in this video. Like I said, if you have obligations like children, you have a spouse or family or whatever, like this doesn't negate that. Like, we're not being true monks in the sense of the world, as far as just disassociate ourselves with the world. Like, you still have responsibilities, you still have children, you still have a spouse, or whatever those responsibilities are. They still matter. I'm not telling you to ignore those things. I'm telling you to do what you can with what you have. You know what I'm saying? Number 9, change your environment. Changing your environment, this is another big one because of the times when we relapse, especially when it comes to X-rated media, is usually when we're in familiar environments where we are secluded. Especially, one thing I did was start going out to different places to do my work. I was offered this rental space by PayPal for free for some time, and I took advantage of it, and it turned out really well. By me being in public space, self-pleasing to videos is not even a thought, because I can, but like, you're less likely to go out of your way to want to do that in public. You know what I'm saying? By changing your environment, I also was changing myself internally by me now forcing myself by default to pay attention to something else. During those times when I normally was tempted, I was rewiring my brain with a new pathway. So now my cues would come while I was out, and it was like, we're not doing that here. You know what I'm saying? And then now they come less and less, to the point where I'm having very few thoughts of watching those videos. Like, I admit they're not completely gone, especially when you're full of sexual energy. Like, those thoughts are going to be there, but now it's much easier for me to redirect the energy. It's like a muscle, man. You just practice. The better you practice, the better it gets. So it has a very productive snowball effect, because now I'm more focused on my work and the energy is being redirected towards it. This place can be anywhere. I suggest somewhere in public, though, or if you're not in a monk mode, maybe amongst your friends or your colleagues, or just anywhere where you're not alone or it's harder to please yourself. And finally, number 10, redirect your energy towards your mission. So if you don't have a mission, a purpose, or direction in life, you need to pick one and start redirecting your energy towards that. If you have a mission or purpose in your life and you start pursuing it, you will eventually get to the point to where you want to use every little bit of energy in your body to make this possible. This is where the rubber meets the road. By now having all of this energy stored up in your body, you can now redirect it to the purpose or the mission of your choosing. This extra reserve of energy is, as well as the extra nutrients in your reserves and the extra testosterone in your body, will allow you to be more productive. You will be able to get more done. You'll have less brain fog. I did another video on how semen retention helps with brain fog. You can check that out on this channel. You'll be able to focus better. You'll be able to feel good about yourself in the process. By being more focused on your mission, now retention being a part of that mission, you now have more of a reason not to relapse, because now you have a reason to redirect this energy, and you are no longer retaining for the sake of retaining. There are countless examples of people who were on a mission, whose mission benefited from them retaining and giving them reasons not to relapse. Let's take some of the greatest fighters of all time, for instance. Before their fights, and sometimes for years at a time, they retain their energy to accomplish great feats in the ring. So fighters aren't the only ones who have retained and gotten great results in their missions. There are philosophers, scientists, and entertainers as well, who benefited from retention and accomplished great things in their fields of expertise. Some of these people include Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Nikola Tesla, and 50 Cent. Okay, so subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos of semen retention and nofap and much more. Check out this playlist of my top 10 videos of semen retention and nofap, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.